Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, that is Sahitya Abhyasa Academy. Today I am going to give a class on poetics on theory of, what is that? Theory of tragedy. That is theory of tragedy. This theory of tragedy can be seen in the work of poetics. Okay, it is a syllabus of MA first syllabus and paper 2 unit 1. Let's begin. Aristotle's Poetics. Yes, Aristotle Poetics. Around 335 it is published, included 26 chapters. The Poetics is the earliest surviving work of literary. Wait a second. I want to make it a little big size. Okay, fine. Poetics is written around 335 BC, included 26 chapters. The Poetics is earliest surviving work of literary theory and dramatic criticism in the Western world. Yes, in the Western world, it became one of the literary work of literary theory and also dramatic criticism. If you study about criticism, he will play their very prominent role because his critical work, that is poetics, he put the foundation of what kind of a poetry should be written, what kind of tragedy should be written, what is the differences between epic. Yes, but so he only gave the so many ways, rules and regulation. Means if we find the words which is followed by the poetics, Aristotle words, means that work would be considered as a classical work or a one of a finest work. Yes, and also he is justified by the words of Plato's. The Plato, how he made the so many negative or a criticism on poetry, and he proved in his own way, and he is justified in his own way that poetry is made for imitation. It is not a copy, it is made for a imitation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ we can see those are the words in particular work that is called poetics. Okay, fine, let's begin. It's mainly treatise on tragedy, so poetic stance, it gives more focuses on tragedy. Only the first book survives. Aristotle also planned to discuss comedy, but that part is lost. Yes. So mainly he gave so many rules, words on tragedy. How the tragedy must be written. What are the ways, what are the rules should be followed. If we see the rules which is made by the Aristotle in that work, means that work completely considered as a pure tragedy according to Aristotle. Even he has planned to discuss about comedy also, but that part is almost it is missed. Fine. Based on Aristotle's lectures, note it is terse, technical, and sometimes incomplete yet foundational. Yes. Today, whatever you are studying about the theory of tragedy, it is a collection of some lectures, notes, terse, and technical. These are the things where the student, his students has, collected the things and finally published this book called as a Poetics. Purpose of this work is Aristotle wanted to analyze how poetry works. Yes, what is the purpose for this publishing of Poetics? Because after Plato's words on poetry and poets, this made him to create this Poetics because he wanted to give such a words which breaks the rules of Plato's words, and how poetry works as an art of imitation, mimes, and why it gives pleasure. Yes, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪೋಯಿಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಪೋಯಿಟ್ರಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಮಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ಲೇಜರ್. Unlike Plato, who distrusted poetry for misleading people, Aristotle treated it scientifically, seeking to explain its elements, structure, and effects on audience. Whereas Plato, how he treated poetry? It is untrustworthy as spreading immorality. Nothing have philosophy or knowledge. Nothing have morals. So more than it misleads the people. This is what the words of Plato. But here he proved it. Means he treated it as a scientifically. No, it is not like that. Scientifically, we can analyze once a poetry means we can get so many pleasures from that and also morals from that. This is what the words of Aristotle. Seeking explain its elements, structure and effects on audience. Once we read a poetry, we can see the elements, the way it is structured and how it affects on audience. It gives the pleasure. Yes, that is what affects. Then what about the key concept of in poetics? The first one is mimes, that is imitation. First he talks about poetics. First he talks about poetry, tragedy, then epic. For your exam, they ask on tragedy. Fine. Mimes. For Aristotle, art is imitation of life, not literal copying. Yes, it is not copy. Copy means what? A kind of a Xerox. X, but here it is not showing the copy. More than it imitates the things, and it is a nothing but an art. How could you tell it is a copy? But recreation of actions to represent universal truth. Whatever you have seen in the society, in the nature, in the world, we can imitate in the form of poetry. Yes, we can recreate this thing and represent in a universal truth way. Yes, it is not an copy, more than it is an art of imitation. Then what are the types of mimes imitation? The first one is objects, second one is medium, third one is manner. First, what they imitate? Imitate. The reality is that whatever you have observed in front of your eyes, that is reality. I am going to imitate that one. Should I imitate the nature, human beings, human life, human values? So this is what imitating. What they imitate. First, I need to select the subject, like subject, and how they imitate form. Whether in the form of like elegy, in the form of lyric, in the form of ode, in the form of ballad, in a which form I should use it to make the poetry. And mode of imitation, manner, directness, in a which way, in a which mood, whether full of feelings, whether joyfully, whether happiness, or in a sorrow way, sad way, somewhat. This is how we can see the three types of mimes, that is object, medium, minor. Don't forget, important for your competitive exam too. Medium and manner. This is object means subject, this is form, and this is directness. Fine. Next, here again we can see the tragedy. Does not simply copy event. Tragedy doesn't is make the copy of events, more than it shows what could happen according to probability or necessity. See, this is also one of concept of Aristotle. Don't forget. Okay, probability or necessity. It shows what could happen. Means if this thing happen in the society, if something is happened which is not visible to anyone, but I meet it in the form of any work like tragedy, that gives the kind of a awareness to the audience. If this happen in the society, means what could happen? Means by seeing the things, I can realize my things on me. Yes, that is what probability means. What could be happen like that. So that's what it is, not copying the events, more than it shows what could happen. So if something is there, I can what, in a which way, what could happen means in a which way I can imitate the things. That is what. Okay. Then what about the next? Catharsis. It is nothing but it is debated term. Aristotle says tragedy achieves through pity and fear, affecting the proper purgations of these emotions. Very nice. See here, tragedy achieves. If you see any tragedy or read the text, you should feel two things. One is pity, one is fear. Pity means you should have pity on that main character. Yes, once he was a noble. No, he became a cruel one. What makes him cruel? The bad situation, the bad decision, anagnorisis, peripetia, made him to cruel, made him to downfall one. This is what pity. And a fear. If we take these other step in our life, that is fear. The audience should feel it. This will happen. A kind of a awareness, a fearness can seen in the audience means that is what called true tragedy according to Aristotle. So some scholars argue that emotional purgation, audience experience a cleansing means audience should feel that their emotions should be purified. Yes, I told you in my previous class. Purification means what? And moral clarification, seeing consequences of hubris. We learn. Yes, we learn. Yes. Moral or educational impact. Hubris means impact through the moral or educational through. So seeing the consequence, what are the consequences made to him become immoral and affect on us in a moral way? No, we shouldn't. If I take this step as in a tragedy is shown, I will be spoiled. My life will be spoiled. Such kind of a clarification can be given in that tragedy. That is what the pure kind of a tragedy according to Aristotle. What about next? Intellectual clarification. After watching the tragedy, we should understand life's causes more clearly. Yes, life causes more clearly. The deeper understanding of things happen in life. Yes, something will happen our life. The deeper means what is the reason behind that. If it is happen means how we should move on that thing, how we should come out from that. Such kind of a clarification should give from that tragedy. If once we get emotional, moral and intellectual clarification from that tragedy means that tragedy would be considered as a pure tragedy. Getting my point? No. Fine. What about the literary example means? Yes, we can see it. That is Oedipus Rex. We know the story. Audience feels pity for his fate. Fear it could happen to them. Then lives emotionally balanced. Yes, pity for him. By unknowingly how his own son take the lives of his father and got married with his own mother. This is, and after that how he put himself in a, how it makes a tragic flaw in his life. That is what feeling a pity on him. And fear, yes, it could happen with everyone. We should be very cautious. Intellectual clarification somewhat leaves emotionally balanced. Yes, we should take care of our life. Before taking any step, we should know, we should study about the surrounding of that thing. What about the 6 elements? Yes, what about the 6 elements on tragedy? The first one, Aristotle breaks tragedy into 6 parts. The first part is plot, ranked in a first place. What is that plot? It is the soul of tragedy. So it asks in many times in exam, what is the soul of tragedy in poetics? That is plot. Fine. Plot is arrangement of incidents or the structure of events in the play. Arrangement of incident. One by one is happen, then another will start and again it closed. Means the incident can be arranged in a proper way, one by one, structured of events. Everything in incident and events will go on in a proper way in the play. And the Aristotle consider it the soul of tragedy, more important than the character. What the character's role are in there, it is more important than the plot. Plot is a more important than character. Why? Should have unity of action. In this plot, we must see the unity of action. Means beginning, middle, end. The plot should contain proper beginning, proper middle of the story and proper end of the story. If we see the exact way which is told by the Aristotle, it will be considered as a pure tragedy. All events should be casually connected. Means if once beginning of the plot started from any one kind of a event, it should connect with the another middle of the story, middle of the plot should be connected with the first one, and the end should be connected with the second one. So this is how shows the connection of each plot. So that is what the unity of action must be in there. That is beginning, middle, and end. Next, must include complications and unraveling peripeteia leading to the catastrophe, downfall. Peripeteia, circumstance, change of circumstances. Last class I told you, change of circumstances leads to prosperity to unfortunate. It should be seen in the work called tragedy. And the incorporate recognition, anagnorisis, that is discovery. Knowledge with, by knowledge, discovery the truth. Anagnorisis. Reversal peripeteia, which often create pity and fear. Definitely. These two things, that is peripeteia and anagnorisis, which creates the two things, that is pity and fear. Should be a whole with a unity. Unity of action must be there in that play. For example, Sophocles, Oedipus Rex. What it is? The plot is driven by the Oedipus investigations. Yes, and into the murder of Louis, leading to his tragic realization that he himself is the killer and the married to his mother. This tightly constructed plot fulfills Aristotle's ideal of unity and evokes profound catharsis. Very beautiful. As I told you before now, Oedipus. But after have done this thing that he killed his father, who is going to realize him that Oedipus, you have killed your father? That is lies. Murderer of lies, into the murder of lies ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? So this is how the perfect example of Sophocles Oedipus Rex, that where we can see the exact utilization of unity of action ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. What about the second point? Theory of tragedies. First point is plot. Second point is character. What is that? Character should be good, appropriate, realistic and consistent. ನೋಬೆಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ವರ್ಚುವಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಗುಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್, ರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್, ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. Character is what reveals the moral purpose of the agent shown through what they say and do. Yes, moral purpose in ಆಧಾರದಲ್ಲಿ of the agent shown through what they say and do. Everyone should appreciate that character in the beginning of the tragedy. Getting my point? In the beginning of the tragedy, agents means character is what reveals the moral purpose of the agents shown through what they say and do. Means everyone should give their personal opinion about that person. Yes, he is a good person, somewhat like. And features, character should be good, morally admirable, just now I told you. Appropriate, true to type, appropriate, he must be true to in his words, and consistent and lifelike, means doing good things in a continuously in his life. There must be no negative, no immorality has been seen in his life. The tragic hero typically has a hamartia, tragic flaw, leading to their downfall. ಈ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾಜಿಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಂಶ typically has hamartia leading to their downfall. Hamartia, tragic flaw. Goodness will meet to tragic flaw, which become their downfall. It should happen with a character. That is what called the tragedy, the theory of tragedy. What about next? Hamlet is a noble. Yes, definitely. Hamlet is a noble, philosophical, but indecisive. His flaw, hesitation, contributes to the tragic outcome. And Macbeth has ambition that turns into the unchecked lust of power and causing his ruin. So this is how we can see Macbeth, Hamlet belongs to the noble people, noble category, but their downfall is in a tragic flaw. They died. The reason, they have chosen the wrong way, wrong step, that is immoral way. What about the third point? That is thought. Dianoi means theme. Let's see. Thought means the theme, arguments, and idea expressed by the character. Yes. What is the thought he is going to take in a next action? For doing any action, what kind of thoughts can be seen in that character? So here thought means it is an argument or ideas expressed or making plans. Yes, how the deeds can be taken into an action. That is what we can see in that thought. It reflects how the characters reason or state a general truth. Yes, means it reflects how the character, on the basis of their thought, we see the truthness in character. If their thought as immoral, means we won't see any truth, more than we see the falseness in that character. So here, revealed in his speeches, debates, moral reflection. These are the must in the character called characters. These are the thoughts which we can see in a character and convey the meaning of the play, ethical dilemmas and philosophical argument. Ethical dilemma means how he behaves during in a dilemma moment. What kind of a thought can be seen in that moment? Hamlet, our father, ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಮ್ಲೆಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಬಂದು ನಿಂತು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂಕಲೇ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪಾಯ್ಸನ್ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಹೌ ಹಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ನೋವಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಫಾದರ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೈ ಅಂಕಲ್, ವೆದರ್ he is able to take that revenge. And he further says, ghost, you should take revenge and let your mother is innocent, she doesn't know that your uncle has been killed me, because uncle, after killing the brother called King Hamlet, he got married with his wife, okay, for Gertrude. For that reason she is innocent, she doesn't know the wicked plan of this fellow called Claudius, so you should take the revenge, take his life. This is what the words of ghost. But what happens? Whether he is able to take that revenge, instead that he turns into completely mad. Mad means he wanted to know whether truly Claudius has killed my father, and he delays lot taking the revenge, and he didn't get the proper time to take the life of Claudius. Yes, again he made a plan to make a play in court. Yes, that is what called mouse trap. So once the performance is over, he came to know that yes, truly Claudius has killed one, but he is unable to take the revenge. Means yes, he has taken the revenge, but the way he utilized, he himself spoiled his life. This is how made him the tragic flaw. So here what we can see, that the characters during that dilemma, what kind of a thought can be seen in that character. Macbeth shown it is in the Macbeth soliloquies on a fate, an ambition, life's but a walking shadow, important for a competitive exam. It asks in a exam in a which play, in which tragedy we have taken this line, that is Macbeth reveals his realization of life's futility. Yes, whatever he has taking the step, that steps made him to take so many lives. This is how he realized that somewhere I have done wrong. At the end of the play drama, he realized. So this is what the how the thought provokes in the character, means how the thoughts are work during the dilemma situation. So this should be added in the character. Thought also played very prominent role during the tragedy. What about the diction? It is a language. What kind of a language? Choose the words, style of language, expressions used by the character. Style. Yes. The words. What kind of a words he utilized? With taking the example, with comparing the present situation with upcoming, the dangerous awareness, how he compares that meaning. Okay? So we can see the beginning of the lines in a Macbeth. Fair is fall and fall is fair. Three witches ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಕೂಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾಲ್, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೆಟ್ಟದು ಫಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೇರ್, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ನೆಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಪಾಯ್ಲ್ the dirtiness and dirtiness will get the conquer somewhat. Yes, ಈ ಥರದ ಅಂಶ. So this is how the diction of choices the words in a style of a language expressed by the character. So such kind of a effective means style of language must be used in a work called means tragedy ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. And what are the features? Should suit the characters and the situation. ಹೌದಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಲೈಕ್ ಎಲಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಪೊಯೆಟಿಕ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಟ್ರಾಜಿಡಿ. ವೆರಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ಇಮೇಜರಿ ಮೆಟಾಫೋರ್ಸ್, ರಿಟೋರಿಕಲ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್. ಈ ಮೂರು ಅಂಶಗಳು ಡೈಲಾಗ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಎಸ್, ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ವರ್ಸ್, ವಿವಿಡ್ ಇಮೇಜರಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಡ್ಯಾಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಬೆತ್ and the serpent tongue in King Lear. Very nice. Dagger of the mind. Macbeth, when he is going to the chamber of Duncan, when he is near to kill Duncan, like a father to him, Macbeth, before killing Duncan, he sees the daggers are moving on the air, like actually it is in his mind, but can see the reflection of his mind on the air. So this is how utilize the power of language means style of language. And the serpent tongue in King Lear, and serpent tongue can be Regan and Goneril. What they told, but they didn't follow that one. Means serpent tongue means they told the things, they promised to take care of their father, but they didn't do it. They broke that promise. That is what called serpent tongue in a King Lear. We can see this. Such kind of a diction must be utilized in a tragedy. Fine. What about the melody? What is the melody? Musical elements like chorus songs. Before starting any drama or any scene or any event, there must be small introduction of a story. That is what called chorus or a songs. In the chorus itself we can see the story's view. Yes, that should be in a tragedy. Melody refers to the musical elements of the chorus in a Greek tragedy. Aristotle saw it was an enhancement that contributes to the pleasure of the drama. Yes, it enhancement to the contribute to the pleasure to the drama, means it kind of give the pleasure to the audience Of course, songs can be give a pleasures and a kind of a feelings, take us to the imaginary land. But here, that's what Aristotle saw. It is an enhancement that contribute to the pleasure of the drama, and means putting the a kind of a music, songs, chorus into the drama. It is just like a contribute to the you know drama. Like, what about the feature must be there? The chorus would sing or a dance, whatever it may be, whether singing or a dancing, commenting on the action, providing background and heightening the emotional response. See, thus that drama, that dance or a sing must be reflect the background of that story or a emotional heightened response that should be reflected in the form of song. Example, in Oedipus Rex, the chorus sings odes that reflect on fate and the gods and the human suffering, reinforcing the play's theme. Very nice, very nice. See, in the chorus itself, we can see that the reflection of fate. What kind of a fate? Yes, they in that chorus mean they won't identify the character. They only directly highlights the fate by taking the person's just person name, not name exactly, they call the person, and how the fate turns that person into the tragic flaw. What are the gods, what are the human suffering can be seen in this present play called tragedy. So this is how they give the a kind of introduction about the character in that chorus. Means uh, it can express everything in that in a metaphorically, that is in tragedy. That would be the play's main theme. Yes, what about the spectacle visual effects? Yes, when we watch a movie, we won't only observe the characters, we also observe the background of that character, the role, that weather or a environment or the nature or the everything we observe, that must be you know um, utilized in a proper way according to Aristotle. Visual effect must be there, least artistic scene dependent on stage mechanics. Every stage must be a different kind of a effective kind of a visual should be appeared in the tragedy. Spectacle is the visual element of the production, scenery, costumes, mask, stage effects. If you see a hero and heroine and the villains, are they put same dresses, same costume? And also some rowdies or gundas, yes, are they put same costumes? No, hero should have different kind of a costume, heroine should have different kind of costume, whereas maid of that heroines, they should also put different kinds of, yes, we can observe in a Bahubali movie how that Devasena put on the different kinds of costumes, whereas her Sakiyaru means the maids how they dress up themselves. Yes, this is how we can see the visual effect, what kind of a scenery should be there. So see, every scenery should feel, see, if they see the tragic moment is occurring, means the whole background scenery must be in a kind of a darkness, reflection must be there, effect must be there. Getting my point? If there is a sad, dark scenery must be there. If there is happy, green scenery must be there. So this is what the effectiveness should be appeared in the drama. So this is costume, mask, stages, yes, mask. Means how they mask also. Fine. Consider the least artistic element by the Aristotle. So he put the last part of the element of tragedy. First one is, what is that first one? Could you remember the first one? Plot, character, thought, then character, thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 would be spectacle, and this is melody. I think so. Melody. What is that? Yeah, melody. The fourth one is diction. Yes. The fourth one is diction. These are the things where you need to write in an exam also. Okay, now what are the 6 elements of the tragedy according to Aristotle in his Poetics? That is, first one is plot, character, thought, diction, melody, and spectacle. So spectacle, he has put it into very least, means the last part, because since it relies more on a stage machinery and not on the playwright's craft. Yes, there must not appear any kind of a writing way, but it should be appeared in the performance of that stage. It talks about this thing, and but it still creates an emotional impact through the visuals. Very nice. I told you now, if there is a sad moment, it should appear as a darkness on the stage. Happy, green, somewhat. Yes, if there is any joke, something, huh, there must be a proper emotional impact can be seen in a visual acts. Fine. For example, take the example of Greek theatre. Masks and elaborate costumes were part of spectacle. Modern production might use lighting, stage technology, yes, choreography to create a powerful scenes. In a Greek things, in a Greek theatre, what we observe, we can see that mask means a kind of a mask. Character put the mask as to show himself, whether he's a clown or a hero or a villain, somewhat. An elaborate costume is, they put the different kinds of elaborated kind of a costumes. Yes, attracts to the viewers, where part of spectacle is the visual part of spectacle is the elaborated costume and the mask. Modern production, no generation, what they do? They put the lights on them and focus lights on them, technology and choreography to create a powerful scenes. So this is about the theory of tragedy in poetics, Aristotle's poetry. I will stop here. It may take lengthy one, so shall see the next video in the continuation on the continuation part of Aristotle's poetry. Until, take care. Bye bye.